detail and analyzing everything. It takes them 2-3 weeks to get through.
We're finding that too.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the client, but
Some are very
really
green
go,
oriented.
and then commerce, it's, you know, it's a challenge, especially when you don't have all the specifications. Like everything isn't decided at this point. Like
Yeah.
So how do you overcome that?
what we do is we have like we do, similar to you, we do a lot of like we do all the structure ourselves in-house and then we sell out. But so we come up with a preliminary estimate, and it's an estimate, it's not a quote, but yeah, a budget figure so that they can determine if
I
they're.
can come up with a preliminary budget in
And
24 hours.
in the meantime,
Bingo!
it's
And I do that.
Yeah.
I give them a preliminary right off the top.
And you do what from that point on?
Well, then I get into the details. We go through the plan, we go through it.
Hold on a second, but what you do is you're giving them a budget, and then what? Are they signed, or you're now wasting time to do other things?
Well, I've asked for a letter of intent to sign with us so we can go to the next step, and I have a very difficult time getting them to make that letter, that commitment right there on the spot. Ever since you talked about it, I put that letter of intent out to my clients. I haven't had one signed yet.
Do you use a letter of intent?
we after the preliminary budget, then we ask for a retainer, so it's same idea.
Same idea.
Yeah, and then that shows
And-
a commitment, and some, we do get it,
Yeah,
but,
so how
but
is that
it's
different?
not easy though. Like you have, sometimes there's multiple meetings, and then they kind of get to a point where they're, you know, but we kind of have to draw the line, okay, we can only go so far. It's about providing the service and make them feel comfortable with you, and it's not all about, okay, sign here before anything.
No, it's relationship building.
But, and then they kind of have to know that, okay, for us to continue investing time and money into this
I've used
proposal.
that too.
Yeah, so we don't have all the answers either, like it's hard to get that signature.
So if a letter of intent doesn't work for you, why don't you ask for a retainer to a certain level? Then I'll order a retainer, and we will use that up to work the numbers. And if we go beyond these numbers, if it's acceptable to you, at that point, I want a letter of intent, so we will get into the actual design and the final estimate, and at that point, we will be within 10 or 15% of our budget.
And
And
the
we get
retainer
it
doesn't
from
have
our
to
contract.
be
That's
huge
fine.
amount, and then they're not as scared of it, right?
Right. I mean, what are you, $1,500, something like that?
No, try 3,500 or 5,000.
Yeah, we're doing 5,000,
Yeah.
but even, but compared to the whole house cost.
Most
How much
plans
is your
are
house on average?
On average, $1 million or better.
They can't put
Is it by the
$5,000
square
down.
foot, basically, is that
Yeah, it's you gotta
$200,
determine.
$300 a square foot
You can do those.
average or whatever,
You
you
can
know, that's.
average anywhere from, it can range anywhere from $200 to $400 square foot.
Yeah, depending on your finishes,
What
right?
you're doing.
So,
So it's a big range.
I mean, that's really that all, you know.
Might be
It has to be anywhere from $220 a square foot to $420.
Can you go back to page 7? Under the caption U, there are 3 items up in the bottom. What does it say? Read them to me.
Can you read that paragraph below you? Or where?
No, the last 3 bullet points at the bottom. They're not 3. Oh, sorry, you don't have anything. Okay, it's in my own. Sorry. All right.
Come on now.
Here are the bullet points.
Okay.
Rest apart, maintain a good attitude.
Yeah.
And I change it from maintain a good attitude to maintain a positive, supportive attitude. Bob, every time you go into, if you go into any sales mode with even a sliver or a ray of negativity in you, the client senses that you're getting over. And I've told you that before. What I hear from you is negativity. We talked about the law of attraction. We talked about, I don't care what you can call it, power of prayer, if that works for you. But if you go into the negative attitude, what do you think you'll get?
I don't sense I have a negative attitude when I'm in. I'm pretty positive. Like, I feel positive when I'm in those meetings, and I do not sense.
But
that
do you go into these meetings with a fear that you're not going to get a signature?
No, I tell them I'm gonna build their house. I'm very positive.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Yeah. I actually tell them that. I says, we need to build a site.
Okay, so that's not it. Then I, for one, is the one that Troy has trouble with.
Any further, sir? Before we get to rule number one, it's something that we mentioned when we got here, and it's something that should go without saying. But having carried a cell phone now for 20 years, I was the first person I knew with a cell phone. Cell phone etiquette cannot be reinforced enough. It seems like in our society, we have this device creep occurring. These electronic devices, which are extremely useful, but garner a undue amount of our time, can be very disturbing. And if you go into a sales conference doing business to business, and that's you guys, or doing a lot of business to homeowner like you guys, either way, it just gives the wrong impression when your phone goes off in the middle of the meeting. Do everything you can to tie a piece of string around your finger so that when you're in the car on the way over, you silence your phone so that there is no chance it will ring during the meeting. Now, you cannot guarantee that the client won't do that. It seems to be acceptable in business-to-business circles that the person you're calling on, your time is worthless and their time is extremely valuable. If their phone rings, they can answer. This is very difficult for me to deal with. And I don't know how you handle it. If it happens 2 or 3 times in the same meeting, sometimes I'll just get up and leave. It's done on $100,000 business. But it is a tricky thing. But you should lead by example. Please, please, please silence yourself before you go. And the other thing you should do while you're in your car or standing outside, it sounds new agey, visualize what is going to happen in the meeting before you have it. If you've never met the person, visualize a blank face, just a person sitting with a bald head. Visualize that person listening to what you're saying and giving you the information you need to make the proper proposal and to make a close within the information that you have, or get them to sign a letter of understanding or an expression of interest if you need more information to pursue it. If you visualize that, it's much easier to be positive about it, and you'll go in thinking of that last thing in your mind that you're very positive that you're likely to sign. Now, I have very good ideas as to why this works, but it doesn't really matter why it works. As business people, we should be much more interested in results and not attached to the process. Okay? I start off with, I'm going to follow your example. We could all, this is good. I like this stuff. Rule number 1, this is as Amy says, I have the worst time with this. You should go into even business to business or business to person. You should be listening, not talking. People will see a salesman and they will actually sit and look at you, waiting for you to begin your pitch. Because they're used to bad salespeople walking through the door, handing them a brochure, doing what I would call a product information or product dump. They just tell them all sorts of stuff that they don't really care about. Best approach, and even when our guys on the phone for Avitan tell them that the guy's going to come, or the sales rep's going to come, and in 30 minutes I'll give you all the details. You sit down with the client, start asking questions. I'm here. We made an appointment. What can I do for you? How can I help? And then when they start with that, if the answers to those questions are very short, we want to keep asking questions, more questions, open-ended questions. How do you think our company can help you? What about our material catches your interest? You've seen our brochure, what did you think? These sorts of questions, and just get them talking. Because in the course of that conversation, they're going to give you all the information you need to either go away and put a proposal together, or be able to finish up the contract right then and there. They're going to give you the words that you need to repeat back to them. Because people really, really want to buy from them. They wouldn't be spending their valuable time if you weren't there to solve the problem they think you can. So does everybody do that? All of you have been in a sales role at some point. Have you all done it? Dan? Do you always do that, going